Her voice was calm, deliberate, each word sharpened a wound. "The greatest gift of my birthday is you vanishing from this family, forever." She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She simply said it while sipping her wine, as if she were commenting on the weather. My rich wife, sitting at the head of her lavish dining table, surrounded by friends who laughed at her jokes and never looked me in the eye, had chosen her moment carefully. The clinking of glasses, the glitter of chandeliers, and her cruel words hung in the air like smoke. I didn't beg. I didn't even argue. I just stood up, my chest hollow, and walked upstairs. I packed my things into the same suitcase I had carried when I first came into her world of marble floors and expensive silence. I grabbed my keys, and when I stepped outside, the heavy door closed behind me with the sound of a final full stop. The night air hit me like a slap, sharp and cold. I stood there for a moment, staring at the mansion that had never truly been my home. The house was hers, the money hers, the family name hers. I had been a guest of my own marriage, tolerated until the novelty wore off. I thought of the years I had given her, years of loyalty, patience, of swallowing my pride every time her wealthy friends smirked at my second-hand suit, every time her family whispered that I wasn't enough. I thought love would be enough, but to her, I had always been temporary. I walked away with nothing but my suitcase and my silence. The first night was the hardest. A cheap motel bed, the smell of dust, the sound of traffic through paper-thin walls. I lay awake, replay her words, try and understand how someone could turn so cold, how a marriage could dissolve into a birthday toast for her amusement. But pain has a way of burning clarity into your bones. By morning, the fog had lifted. I realized something that struck me harder than her words had. She hadn't broken me. She had freed me. Still, betrayal lingered. A week later, I learned the truth. Through whispers from a mutual friend, I found out about him, her new life, the man she had been seeing behind my back. A business partner, wealthy, polished, the kind of man her world approved of. While I had been busy trying to be enough, she had already replaced me. The humiliation stung, but strangely, I felt no rage, just an ache that turned into resolve. If she thought her riches and her new lover meant she had won, she hadn't understood who I was. I left the city, moved into a small town where no one knew my name, where the sound of the ocean drowned out the memories of marble halls and cold laughter. I found work, honest, tiring, but mine. For the first time in years, I wasn't living in someone else's shadow. I was standing in my own light, and it was there, in the simplest of places, that I met Alara. She wasn't wealthy. She didn't walk in diamonds or speak in cutting remarks. She was a teacher, her hands ink-stained from grading papers, her smile warm in a way I had forgotten warmth could be. We met in a grocery store, both reaching for the same carton of milk. Our fingers brushed, and she laughed, soft and genuine. That laugh cracked something open inside me. Conversations over coffee turned into long walks by the shore. She listened without judgment when I finally told her the story. The mansion, the humiliation, the final full stop of that closing door. She didn't pity me. Instead, she said quietly, "You didn't lose her. She lost you. With Alara, I found what wealth had never given me. Peace. Nights filled with laughter instead of silence. Mornings where I woke up to love, not contempt. Slowly, the scars my wife had left behind began to heal. Months later, I heard from my old world. A message from an acquaintance. My ex-wife's new perfect relationship had crumbled. The business partner she had chosen over me had walked away, leaving her with her fortune but none of the adoration she had expected. She was alone, her birthday wishes finally granted but emptier than she imagined. For a moment, I thought of her. I thought of the mansion, the cruel laughter, the final words she had thrown at me like a curse. And then I thought of Alara, of the life I was building now. And I realized something powerful. I wasn't angry anymore. That night, when the door closed behind me, I thought it was the end, but it was the beginning. Sometimes, being thrown out of someone else's world is the only way to find your own. She had wanted me to vanish. And I did vanish from her life, her world, her story. But in vanishing, I discover myself again. And that was the greatest gift of all.